What up, it's Chris from Laser Lemming and UpandLoaded.com. Today I'm going to talk about the Switch. Now, I know I've talked about the Switch a lot recently, but that's just because it's the hot topic to discuss at the moment. However, I'm going to be talking about some other things shortly, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the Switch and indie developers. Why? Because I think they are going to help save this system. Not that the system needs a lot of saving, because Zelda is huge right now, and it's probably really boosting the system sales. I'm enjoying the hell out of Zelda. I'm not playing it right now. I kind of wish it was, but I want to talk about indies. Because on the Wii U, Nintendo did decently at attracting Wendy's, Square Burgers and all. They did decently at attracting indie developers. But on the Wii, they were just getting their feet wet. The Wii Shop, I just went back on it recently just to check it out. Still really hokey. Nintendo was just testing the waters. They had like a 40 megabit limit on the size of games indie developers could release. So that's why Super Meat Boy, which was initially announced as a Wii game, never came to the Wii because they couldn't get it under 40 megabits. It ended up coming to the Wii U, so hurrah. But let's move on. Indie developers are abundant on the Switch. I don't know if you've watched any indie sizzle reels or videos or announcements or interviews, but indie developers are gung-ho on this system, and they are all over it. There are a ton of indie games coming out just in 2017 alone, and I think that's impressive. I think it's impressive because Nintendo wasn't able to get that on the Wii U, even though they were able to get pretty good indie support. The fact that they're getting so many indies now is because they have gone out of their way. They are banging on doors practically to get indies onto their system, at least good indies. And I've watched a lot of these trailers, looked at a lot of these screenshots and lists. Looks fantastic to me. I think that's a saving grace for the system. You got Nintendo first party games that were originally developed for a console, the console devs and the handheld devs. So you got the Wii U guys that are moving on to Switch. The 3DS guys are also moving on to Switch. So just pooling those games together, if you have every Wii U game and every 3DS game on one system, that consistent pace of release is very good. Add on great indie developers to fill out some content variety, that's even better. Now, it would be even better than that if we had EA on board, Ubisoft on board, Activision, Acclaim, THQ, Midway, all those third-party developers. If they were all on board with the Switch 2 and releasing all their games, if Red Dead Redemption 2 came out on the Switch, that'd be fantastic for Nintendo. But, it's probably not going to happen. So, the fact that we are probably going to be looking at mostly first-party games and indie games, and the fact that that's okay, at least to me and several other people, shows that there's going to be games coming out for this system. And I think that's good. Nintendo is fostering a strong relationship with smaller developers. They might have burned too many bridges in the past. Past 20, 30 years. They might have burned a few bridges. Bethesda, they're actually building a bridge back with Bethesda. Bethesda hadn't released a game on a Nintendo system since the NES. Now Skyrim's coming to the system. And during an interview, the thing he's most excited about was the HD Rumble. So go figure. But the Switch is just a powerful handheld / console. It's a good thing for Nintendo, I think. It was kind of a Hail Mary, and I think it's going to pay off for them. At least I hope so, because I just want a Nintendo system that has a lot of games on it. But I think what's happening, even though they burned so many bridges with EA and Ubisoft and whatnot, they are building strong relationships with smaller developers. And the reason that's good is because not only will you get indie games that way, but if these developers ever grow into a bigger studio, or if the talent from those indie developers move on to bigger studios, it shows a good relationship with Nintendo. You have people that have a good relationship with Nintendo, and they actually want to work with Nintendo. So this is good in the long run. It's kind of playing the long game, but it's good. It's good for Nintendo and third-party support. This was a company that saw third parties as a necessary evil in the past, and now they've really changed their tune because, big money's involved in third parties, and people tend to go to the console that has third-party games, because lots of people enjoy third-party games. I don't have to explain this, but yeah, just wanted to get that out there. I think really catering to indies is going to help them in the long run. You might not see how it helps them outside of the indie games for a while, but a lot of indie games is always good. I own Zelda, playing that the most obviously right now, but I also own 2 other games, and they're both digital. Fast RMX by Shinin, made by like 5 or 6 guys. Awesome F-Zero / Wipeout kind of game. And Snipper Clips. Got that to play with my wife. And so far, I can honestly say that I'm having a lot of fun with both of those games. So, I'm optimistic, obviously. I think I sound very optimistic in this video, and that's because I am. But, obviously, there are some things Nintendo still needs to work on when it comes to third-party developers. I got more to say on these topics, but I'm going to let that slide from this point on. I want to talk about free games. So last week I made a few videos where I said, hey, guess what? I'm giving away free games. All you got to do is like the Up and Loaded Facebook page. It's in the description below. And leave a comment on one of our posts. That's it. And you're entered. You have until Friday to do so. So you still have until Friday, depending on when you watch this video. That's March 10th, 2017. Do it. Go ahead and do it. I'm giving away some good Steam games or a 3DS game if you want it. And yeah, really like to give one out to you. I will give it out as soon as possible. All you got to do is enter. All you got to do to enter is like and comment. So thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.